Did you say fire comes out of both ends?
I did say that with no shame.
Just a bunch of charred stools.
Charred stools.
Stools.
He gets it. It's a poop
Well
joke.
played.
uh,
Yeah.
Just like me on Taco Tuesday.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 5th episode of the Kestrel Tavern, the show where we watch the room behind me and my face become increasingly disheveled over the course of several months. Today we have a wonderful crowd hanging out with us today. We have the, as always, spectacular Matt.
What's up?
We have the incomparable Shane.
Hey, that's me.
We have the spectacular, as always, Lily.
Still here, so.
And technically, it's my turn to insult Leo this week, but like, I can't do it. Like, look at that Leo face. Like, I should, but I can't. And we also have our guest of the week, Jaden. Hello.
Hello.
You want to talk for a second about some of the stuff that you do and other things you work on?
I work for Lore Party. I'm a producer / editor. I also manage the YouTube channel over there. Oh, you're familiar with it. Excellent. Sweet. All right.
Heard of it.
I think I've heard of it.
Something.
Casually been involved. Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
And then before the Rona hit, I was hitting the stand-up comedy scenes. Unfortunately, that is no longer a thing. My buddy tried to invite me. He's like, "Hey, can you come do stand-up night in my Zoom call?" And I said, "No." That sounds like a terrible idea.
What is it? So last week, we had a interesting sequence of events in which Emmett had a chance and somewhat fateful meeting with an old acquaintance, and hasn't quite divulged what quite's been going on in his head. It's led to an interesting week, and it's been little over a week later. The this particular day is settling to a close. Sun's already down. Less than an hour left in the rest of the day. No one's really come in or out. Bix is the only real customer left. Considering leaving early. Emmett, you want to describe what you're up to?
Sure. Since I've been closing up most nights this week, I'm starting to get a head start on that stuff. Clean up, organization, that kind of thing. Just kind of puttering about, trying to make sure things are ready for closing time.
Was it Jonas? You want to talk about what you're working on as the day's kind of coming to a close?
It's been a slow day. Glad to have Bix here as always, and just cleaning up some glasses, getting everything sorted. Again, kind of a little worried about Emmett after the goings on of the last few days, but generally just closing up.
Bix and Xia, what are the two of you up to?
Xia, what are you up to? I'm just sauntering around the bar, trying to figure out how to cheer up Emmett, Just want to do something for him. You know what? Bix is just drunk enough that the glances that he steals at the tooth are less disgusted and more jealous.
Right on. Yeah.
Isn't that You're getting it. That's always the goal, isn't it? So you do notice a little bit under your legs that Stuart seems to be getting a little bit restless. Looks like Stuart's getting to be about done being a chair for the day and gesturing that he's ready for you to stand up.
Well, then I guess I gotta stand up.
Like, have it like
my immersion.
Commitment. It's important.
So seeing like the moment, Stuart just kind of like slumps back into his usual form. He's just really sleepy today. He didn't get much sleep last night, so Stuart just kind of like without even like acknowledging people, just crawls back behind the bar, like rolls up into his chest form and just falls right asleep under the bar. Like, this is the fastest you've seen him fall asleep in weeks.
Wow. He must really be tired. I wonder what he did to make him that tired. I'm kind of worried. I'm a little worried.
As the day is getting a little bit to a close, you hear a kind of like a rustle at the door. It's like almost a knock, but they don't wait long enough before opening it for it to really be more than a courtesy knock. In walks a older blue dragonborn man. Bix and Xia, you both recognize your uncle immediately.
Daddy? No, uncle. Uncle. Okay.
Um,
There was some delay.
That's what they call
So-
it.
It's an Alabama Dragonborn.
Uncle Daddy.
Ah, yikes.
he's a blue dragonborn, but he's, even for a dragonborn, like quite old. His blue scales are very faded. His pattern in his scales is a lot more pronounced. He has a thin gray mustache that like just like goes right along like the edge of his snout, but despite how messy his mustache is, his beard is incredibly well trimmed. I'd say even those of you who don't recognize him recognize like these are clearly like the clothes of nobility. You guys both immediately recognize your missing uncle Teniskro. And he stands in the doorway, both of his arms behind his back, glancing left and right around the bar, and his eyes move from Bix to Xia, and he says nothing and quietly approaches the bar. I assumed you'd be here, Bixlef. I suspected you'd know where your sister had gone, but I admit I didn't think she'd stoop so low as to join you.
What's poppin', Unc?
He glances, just glares at you, and he like his eyes like look around the bar, and he glances at Emmett. Are you the owner of this establishment?
I am not.
He like glances around, and like he kind of casts his gaze briefly to Jonas and approaches him. Kind of, process of elimination. I apologize for any trouble or misfortune that my niece or nephew may have caused you since their rebellion had begun, but I assure you that we will put a stop to it.
Oh, it's been great. It's been wonderful to have them around. Maybe they were different when they were younger, but it's been an absolute pleasure to have both of them around all the time. You'll actually recognize some of the drawings along the walls of Bix's accomplishments since he's joined us.
He like glances at the drawings, glances at Bix. I see the nature of his accomplishments has not changed.
Totally
Not
possible.
even a little.
Still impressive to this day, but yeah.
Thank you.
I
You got
wish
it,
not
Bix.
to waste any more of your time than I have to. My niece will be departing with me. Him, however, he glances at Bix. You may keep. Exiadri. He turns.
I never
to Xia.
liked you much either, Unc.
He glances at Xia. Exiadri. Explain yourself.
I don't have much to explain. I mean, I just needed to get out of there.
Your duty is to the family. It's the duty of your
Fuck the
birth and
family.
your blood.
Oh my.
Yo.
I see your brother's ways have begun influencing your manners.
More or less, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of proud of what he does. I didn't teach her shit.
He
It's
like
not lying.
he like grits his teeth. The duty of our family requires that you use your gifts productively.
I don't see anything not productive here, you know? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to...
Our bloodline has been tasked for generations with protecting the king.
Our bloodline? Who are you, Voldemort? Yeah.
What's a Voldemort?
The
What's a Voldemort? Good question.
I don't know that.
I mean, he should know. He sounds like
Good one.
Severus.
our genetic weaknesses. At which point he
Mr.
glares at
Potter.
Bix again. Have weakened some of our influence,
Lay off.
but we need you
Thanks.
to recover the strength of our family. You will come with us, and we will discuss what the consequences of your actions shall be. As he's describing all of this, another person enters the bar. You guys almost don't notice this one because of the conversation that goes on. This figure is wearing not quite as thick as the last one, but wearing a cloak and a hood. Not quite as thick as the last one, because you can clearly see this is some type of maybe a elf, maybe a half elf, something to that effect. Tallish, walks in and walks up to the bar and lowers his hood. Jaden, would you like to describe yourself in a little bit more detail?
Yes, I am. I'm an elf, clearly, from my elf-like ears and whatnot. But I'm kind of I'm kind of small for an elf. I'm kind of like I'm almost human size. A lot of people have mistaken me for half elves before, and it's honestly a funny mistake. But no, I'm actually a full elf, and it's I'm pretty fair features as most elves are.
I will say though, in all of this, Jonas, you do a little bit of a double take because you almost didn't notice him walk in because of the argument that's going on. This is the first time you have seen Axel in 10 years.
Oh. So I walk around. I don't know if I have established where I am in the bar, but I'm behind the bar now, and then I walk over and I recognize him as Axel.
Yes, and so again, like this all happens quietly, but meanwhile, what is it? Tennis Grow, just like glares at Xia, like.
So
are you unwilling to return to your family?
Yeah. That's about it.
You understand that there will be consequences.
What kind of consequences? Dire?
Like, he's irritated at not having anything to say in this. But yeah.
I've been kind of listening a little bit, and I kind of slam my fist on the table of the bar, and I just say, "Old man, the girl said she wants to stay."
Thank you, my hero.
This isn't your concern, half elf.
Oh shit!
I stand from the chair, and I get right up into his face, and I say, "Actually, I'm a full-blown elf. I've lived a long time. Do you know how many times someone has threatened me or insulted me? A lot. So, think your next words carefully."
He he was startled like when you first like banged your fist on the table, but like as you kind of like leaned into him, he like met your gaze a little bit. Do you want to guess how many times people have threatened me?
I'm sure for a person of such elderly stature has had a full, rich life, and I'm sure you'd like to continue that rich life. Meanwhile, I would like to have my drink. So, if you could kindly exit this establishment, neither one of us has to ruin our evenings.
He grits his teeth, like glares at you. He mutters, "This would be the first. And perhaps the last." He glares at Xia, like punctuating those last words, and then like again at Bix, and kind of like not storms out, but like kind of power walks out, like slowly, a slow power walk, just showing the intent behind it.
Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Power walkers never quit.
And so it is getting to be quite late in the day now.
As he hits the door and leaves, I run over to the door and go, "Thank you for coming. Have a good night." And then close the door.
That makes me afraid.
I turn to Jonas and I say, "So, this is the kind of place you run?"
For better or for worse, it's been a long time. Axel, how have you been?
I sit down at the bar and I say, "Gonna offer me a drink?"
We've got Big Sal's aplenty. Might appreciate the name, but they are our most popular brew. Would you like one?
Sure. Why not?
Okay. So I pour you a Big Sal and I serve it up.
I kind of twitch when you said Big Sal, but I sip my drink and I kind of look around the bar and I say, "So this is what our legacy has become, huh?"
Getting old. I know you're full elf. I'm just half elf, you know. I'm just trying to keep my number of years on this planet as plentiful as is possible. Don't want to die too soon.
As you guys are having that conversation, the street lights start dimming, indicating that the nearby businesses have officially started closing down, and it's kind of closing time for places in the area.
I think that's about time for Bix to hit the head. Cheers, everybody.
Good night, Bix. Also,
Good night.
Emmett, you've been closing up every night this last week. Really working hard, and I just wanted to give you the option of I'll close up tonight, and you can take the night off, kind of relax, get some rest.
Are you sure? I know how much work closing this place is, especially considering the week we've had. I'd be happy to do it if you... And then Emmett pauses, kind of reads the room, and kind of then catches up with him. "Oh, but I imagine that you and Axel have a lot to talk about, so..." Do I know Axel, by the way?
You definitely know of Axel. If you've seen him, it would have been like 15 years ago.
Okay. But did I hear them exchanging names before?
Yes, you would have. I'd say you would have.
Okay.
I turn to him and I just say, "Yeah, we got a lot of catching up to do."
Fair enough. Axel, I presume. It's good to see you. Welcome. And I will Yeah, I'll take you up on that. Last week, I'm sure, as you know, was a little much for me. So thank you, Jonas. I'll leave it to you.
Of course. Yeah. There was less vomit today, after all. It's fast.
And on my way, finishing tidying before I leave, I walk over to Xia and go, "We don't have to talk now, but that guy was a dick, and if you need help, you let me know. I've got your back."
I appreciate it so much, Emmett. You're so great. I don't really know what to do though, because Dick's not being here really kind of freaks me out.
Can I escort you back to where you're staying with Bix? Would that be helpful to you?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Let's take off.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you wrap up and we'll go. Sounds good.
All right.
I have a question, Caleb.
Yes.
What does my beer taste like?
I don't. We haven't.
It's a very important question.
Did we ever actually establish what a Big Sal tastes like? It's a.
Just
I
that
don't
it's
think
very
so.
strong.
It's
That was about it.
It's very strong. It's
Is it an ale? Is it an IPA? Is
It's
it a
a-
stout?
it's-
What are we talking here?
I'd say
Listen to
it's.
this guy.
I would say that Big Sal is it's a stout, but it's like a very citrus heavy stout. Like a lot of flavors that you would associate with an ale, which is why it's called an ale, but it is actually a stout.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
the ale is an actual intentional misnomer, and in the handful of letters you've exchanged with Big Sal, like, and the handful of letters that a Jonas has exchanged with Big Sal about this, or the handful of times he's seen her, like, she like loved the idea. So, but yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah.
Just asking. Just
Oh
checking.
yeah,
just
that's
checking.
it's.
We'll have to find the exact beer that it is, and have like a Kestrel Tavern toast at some point.
That would be so much fun.
It's Milwaukee best.
It's like a pack.
Who is
Yeah.
the banquet beer?
Spoiler alert, it's just Blue Moon.
I'd be happy if it was Blue Moon. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean,
Blue,
I'll take it. You
yeah,
know.
Blue Moon's good. Like not
It's Natty
crappy
Ice.
Blue Moon. But anyway, so with that, it's officially just Axel and Jonas in the bar, as Jonas is closing up.
So,
How's the beer?
well, it definitely is beer.
Indeed. Have you noticed it's not an ale? Because it's not an ale.
Clever.
Yeah.
So this is what the Kestrels become, huh?
For me, yeah. I know Sal is off and Ben is off, and they've got their life together, but certainly this is what I've become.
You know, it's sad, right?
I think it's the life that I want now.
No, I mean all this. This
What is?
pathetic little bar that you have going here. I mean, look at this. I get up from the chair and I start walking around and pointing out the items on the walls, and I say, all this stuff, worth a small fortune. Yet you're just putting it up on the wall as trophies.
Yeah. People don't even appreciate the tooth. It's really
The tooth?
the tooth, the wyvern tooth, or wyvern tooth on the wall. Yeah.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah.
I helped you get that, don't you forget.
I don't ever.
What are you doing here?
Just living out the rest of my life in peace, you know?
Really? That's what you're doing? You've built a little life here and you're content?
You know, when we took the vote, when we decided to disband, and I know you were against it, and I know that you weren't happy with that decision. It was one that we voted on together, and you know, Sal and Ben and I, we made our choice. We've found our lives afterwards. What have you been up to these years? Is it that you are not happy with what you have going on?
What I have going on. You don't get it, do you?
I don't think I do.
Clearly. I put so much into the Kestrels. This was my life. These trophies, our jobs, our friends, all of it. You got to make a vote, you got to go away and have your life. Me? I got nothing left. Jonas, you don't understand. All of this, these are your happy memories for me. They're nothing but a fucking curse. A ghostly reminder of what I used to have.
Well, it certainly makes sense why you've avoided coming here then, all these years.
I mean, half this shit is mine, you know.
You were certainly part of it.
I mean, that stuff over there is definitely mine. That tooth? You know what? I walk over to the tooth. Is it in like a display case of any kind?
It's just on the wall. On a
It's,
plaque.
it has like a little like metal plaque next to it, like describing like what it is.
What does the plaque say?
The tooth.
It literally says like the tooth.
Does it just say the
Wyvern,
tooth?
And,
X's
and then it
favorite?
has like, and then it has like the year. Wyvern.
I rip the plaque off the wall. I look at it and I look over at Jonas and I chuck it on the ground. And I take the tooth and I throw it on the ground as well.
And is this fun for you? Is this satisfying for you? Are you getting something done that you wanted to get done by coming here?
I'm sorry, is this affecting you? Do you care? I mean, you didn't care all those years ago when you ended the Kestrels. Why would you care now?
You know, the decision was complicated, but I stand by it. And I would make the same decision today, and I know that doesn't please you to hear, but know that that's why we went our separate ways. This descent is why the Kestrels had to end. I mean, in addition to other things.
We didn't have to end.
We did.
We were going fine. Everything was working out. And then you got cold feet, and you won't even tell me why. Jonas, I saw the look in your eyes when you came for that meeting. Something scared you. I didn't have the courage to ask then, but I have the courage to ask now. What happened? Why did you abandon us?
So I suggested that initially because the king had come to me and threatened to make us all outlaws. He threatened to make us criminals if we didn't work for him, if we didn't become, you know, his extended reach. And I was scared. I almost died. You carried me back, right? Ben lost his arm. And although I suggested it, you're absolutely right, it was my idea. I wasn't the only one who voted. It wasn't my decision. It was you.
I run up to Jonas and I grab him by his shirt. But you were the one. We listened to you. We followed you. We loved you. We would have done anything for you. And you let us go.
Although clearly you would not have disbanded. You would not have honored my desire for safety, for us, a life where we're not someone else's slave.
Our lives were never safe. We were always fighting. We would have figured it out then. We would have. We always did.
Well, it sounds like the same disagreement that we had 10 years ago. So why are you here? What do you want?
To do something that I should have done 10 years ago. I punch him in the face.
Roll an unarmed strike.
Punch him in the face.
7.
Jonas, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume your AC is higher than 7.
16.
All right, so
Base armor is just beard.
Yeah, like you go in and it doesn't quite land. You like kind of duck, you see it coming, kind of move your head out of the way in time.
And is that enough? Is that good?
I just tried to hit you and you don't even care?
I want you to be able to move forward into the rest of your life in a way that feels right for you, and know that that's not going to involve me out gallivanting around with a sword, gathering more wyvern's tooths. Those years are gone for me. I'm done.
No, they're not. I moved to punch him again.
All right, do another unarmed strike.
You could certainly use more teeth, though.
That one was a 17.
I mean, at rate not quite, but at the rate he's going, you might eventually start needing more teeth. He like gets you square in the jaw, like lands one in the jaw.
So I kind of stumble backwards, having very much felt that one. And I put my hand to my mouth, and my face, before I get hit. I say, where does this end for you?
10 years ago, you would have blocked that. Where's the warrior I knew?
He died 10 years ago. And now I'm here. And if beating up the owner of a tavern with some fancy pictures on the walls and the occasional wyvern tooth makes you happy, then that's what you've fallen to. That's what you've become. What is that, a thug?
I kind of like lower my fists and I slump into the nearest chair and I just go, I can't believe I lost you. For real this time. You really are dead.
Yeah.
Jonas, did I ever tell you why I voted yes? Why I stayed?
No.
Jonas, my family disowned me. They told me that it was either the Kestrels or my family. And I chose you. I chose our family. And not 2 seconds after I made that choice, you stand up there and tell me it's worthless and that you want to go off and do some new adventure. I didn't just lose the Kestrels, I lost everything. Glad to see it was worth it for your bar.
Why not find a new group? Why not? Why is that the end of the story for you?
You know,
What's stopping you? The pictures on the walls?
Afterwards it was pretty hard. I found myself just wandering around. Eventually I did find just this kid who needed help. And kind of watching out for him ever since. Jonas, you want to know the real reason I'm here?
Please.
You had a choice. You saw an out for your family, and you took it. What if I lose this family that I've gained?
This boy you've taken in?
Yes. He's reckless, and I worry about him. He's been making a lot of decisions that I don't see a clear outcome to. I want him to succeed, but damn it, he's like my son. I just don't want to see him get hurt.
Well, I mean, we have to own the decisions we make. And if you decide to put that boy in danger, you'll have to own that decision. And all of this is why we make the choices we make. Because what we're then held accountable for, right? What our lives become after we make these choices. So what are you going to do? Continue gallivanting around with him? Or are you going to settle down?
Where would I settle down?
It's a big world. You know, Xia joined us some period of time ago. There are small towns like this one all over. There's room in this town. You'd have to deal with people recognizing you from the pictures on the walls, but if you can't stand to be around these memories, if you can't stand to be around me and to see how far I've fallen into this degenerate life of hospitality, then you are welcome to find a similar small town of your own.
I'm sorry, are you suggesting I stay here?
You'd be welcome. You should probably stop trying to punch me. But we have a long history. We've been through a lot. I'm getting tired of being the only one who knows where that wyvern tooth came from.
I take another big sip and I just go, you know, even 2 or 3 years ago, I would have jumped at this opportunity. But I guess all I can say for now is I'll have to sleep on it.
Well, you
Sorry about the mess. Not sorry about the punching. You kind of deserved it.
I probably did. Yeah. The mess is not so bad. You clearly have not been to the Kestrel Tavern on a Monday.
Maybe I will.
Well, you know where I am.
Come on. You got any fire whiskey back there?
I think I do. And I go and I get 2 glasses and I very generously fill them with fire whiskey. And I come over and I sit down.
I'll go. To the Kestrels. They may be gone, but her name still holds power.
To the Kestrels. Clink.
Clink. And I shoot it down. And then I give a little burp.
This shit belongs on
Whoa.
HBO.
Little bit of fire
God,
comes out
that
of
was
that burp.
heavy.
Little bit of fire comes out of the burp. That's the effect of fire whiskey.
Oh, that's why they call it fire whiskey.
I had no idea.
I thought
A lot
it was
of-
cinnamon flavored.
A lot of other taverns actually forbid Dragonborn from being allowed to drink it for obvious reasons.
You know why.
You know why.
They forbid a
Fire comes
certain
out both
dragonborn
ends.
from drinking it. Me.
Did you say fire comes out of both ends?
I did say that with no shame.
Just a bunch of charred stools.
Charred stools.
Fools.
He gets it. It's a poop
Well
joke.
played.
Uh,
Yeah. Thanks
Just like
for
me on
explaining
Taco
it.
Tuesday.
This can be the rest of the episode. Let's
Yeah.
I mean,
keep making
Poop
yeah.
jokes.
Shit jokes and
jokes?
furniture crossover.
It
I'll ever
worked.
be shitting.
It worked for episode 1.
It did. It's true. There was a lot of poop humor in the first episode.
Good one, Caleb.
Uh,
I love that.
all right. So, on all that, do you guys have any additional things to say or do?
I think I'm just gonna stand up from the bar. I'm gonna just put my hood back up, and I'm just gonna say, "Well, Jonas, this has been interesting. Maybe we'll see each other again soon."
I hold the glass from the whiskey against my aching face, and I go, "Yeah, it's been interesting, and I hope to see you very soon."
And I exit the tavern.
And I go back to closing up.